Today's voiceover talent is more than just a pretty voice.
Pretty voice.
Today's voiceover talent has to be a boss.
A boss.
Join us each week for business owner strategies and success with your hosts Ann Ganguza and Gabrielle Nistico, along with some of the strongest voices in our industry.
Rock your business.
Rock your business.
Rock your business.
Like a boss.
Like a boss.
Rock your business like a boss.
Rock your business like a boss. A VO boss.
A VO boss.
A VO boss.
Hey everybody, welcome to the VO Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Ann Ganguza, along with my entrepreneurial boss bestie, Gabby Nistico. Hey Gab.
Hi.
Gabby, today I think we should talk about one of my favorite topics, although we always talk about my favorite topics. One of my favorite topics, and I think it's yours too. How to make money without working.
Yeah. Well, this is defined in a lot of different ways for entrepreneurs, right? This is making money while you sleep.
Yes.
This is making money when you're not working, making money on the weekends.
Yes.
Passive income.
Yes, passive income is, the term that I think we all know and love.
It makes me tingle. It gets me so excited. The concept, the thought of it, like what it represents.
It's
because
like,
I think
it's
truly.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, and this is the problem. We're both so damn excited.
I know. It's like the entrepreneurial crown.
It's the holy grail.
It is. It's like
Yeah.
I have earned my crown when I have succeeded at passive income.
Oh, for sure.
And how many different ways can I make passive income? I love it.
Oh, well, there's the big picture piece, right? But I think for most business owners, they don't really truly realize their potential for longevity and success and retirement until they figure out this all-important piece, until passive income becomes a regular part of their job.
I don't know about you, Gabby, but I am preparing for a glorious retirement. And in doing so, my business brain is thinking differently now. Well, maybe not differently, but it's it's really focused on how am I going to secure income in the future so that I can live and, travel the country like I want to do and do everything that I want to do. And passive income is right there at the top of the list. So let's talk about passive income and how do we start planning for it, Gabby?
Let's back up one step. So let's address the voiceover elephant in the room, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember years ago, the first time I really heard the phrase, the expression passive income, I just, of course, went, okay, well, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Because my immediate thought was, right, what I do is dependent upon me in that moment.
In my voice. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Working, being engaged, being part. Like, what could I possibly sell or have?
I don't have a
that's
product.
going to be passive.
Exactly.
So this episode's going to be a little different than what we normally do. We're talking about things that could be voiceover related, but ultimately are outside of the voiceover sector.
Yes. Now,
I don't believe that there's a way as a voice actor doing the proper job of voice acting, there is a way for passive income to be possible. Do you see one, Ann? I mean, residuals, I guess.
Yeah, residuals. I mean, and
residuals are a form.
Yeah, they're a form of that.
But of course, you can't depend on residuals.
Well, unless you can craft a way that in the future, which I'm sure people are scared of and thinking about and investigating, of having your voice footprint as a product that you sell over and over again, which sounds scarily like text-to-speech, AI,
right.
all that good stuff. But hey, I say be an entrepreneur. There could be something there.
There could be. There's also royalty shares and profit shares with things like audiobooks.
Sure. Absolutely.
So that's another example. But outside of that,
there's really, no.
I don't think there really is one. So, okay, for me, I mean, both of us, as coaches, we have in some ways explored a version of passive income there.
It's another product.
Exactly. And we have specific products and things that people can go to our websites and instantly buy or download and pay for on the spot. Instant gratification all the way around. And then, we get the little text ping.
Oh, I love
from,
that.
Yeah, PayPal or Stripe going,
says,
you made money. You made money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've received probably to one of the more popular forms of it would be, like you said, like digital downloads or courseware. Courseware, I think, is super important
For sure.
for a lot of people in our industry because it's something you can sell that's completely digital. It's not a physical product where you have to worry about packaging and shipping and purchasing, that sort of thing. You just have to put in the work to create it. So that's why you see so many people with so many online courses. So I think for that, you run into the issue where it's a great idea and it's a great way to make revenue, but it's so competitive. So competitive out there.
It is, and the coaching market, not just in voiceover, but all around, is very, very oversaturated. There's going to come a point in time where it's really going to max out. I think we're in sort of a trend phase with that, and I think it's going to get thinned at some point.
There's also styles too, Gabby, ways and styles of marketing those services that I think have become tiresome to people.
Yeah.
Marketing has a cycle. Sometimes the coaching sales funnel becomes tiresome.
It's becoming smarmy.
Selly.
It's becoming very drawn out.
Yeah.
It's, these big giant websites with 60 pages of sales language and things that are meant
Download
to really
freebies.
hook you in. And
Yep.
I never try to dissuade anyone from coaching in voiceover, but it's important that if you're going to start a coaching venture, you have to be offering something that's different, whether it be your perspective, your methods, whatever it is, and then you can carve a way in which people know you. Yeah.
Yep. And again, it's not unlike being unique in voiceover, right? What is your unique selling proposition? What do you have that is a product that no one else has, or that can be different or better? What do you offer that provides value to the client that they're not getting elsewhere in the marketplace? That's just good business. When you're thinking about how to sell yourself, those are core fundamentals of how you figure out how you're going to become unique and sell yourself. Same thing for passive income. What can you do? What's out there? How can you make it different?
Well, and I think this is a really fun part of what voiceover affords most of us. Let's be honest. Yeah, we put a lot of time into what we do and we put a lot of effort into it, but compared to some other professions, we don't really work the same type of hours. We have a freedom.
We do have a freedom.
Yeah, I mean, we're not tied to anything. So what I find myself prompting people to do, and it's what I myself have done, is taking other passions, developing them, and having a side venture.
For years now, I've been selling my vocal sprays. That's a physical product on the side, but it was born out of a necessity for my first industry, voiceover, because I had a scratchy throat. I wanted to be able to voice better. And so I had developed a spray, which I ended up using, and it worked, and I loved it. And I said, you know what? I think this can benefit other people. And everybody in the voiceover industry was like, how do you correct dry mouth? Or how do you correct that rasp? And so I was the same person looking for a solution. When you're working on your business and what you have to offer, that is a core part of your research that you have to do. What is the market demanding? Or what are the needs in the marketplace, and how can you fulfill them? So I fulfilled a need for myself, and I realized that this could fulfill a need for others as well. It's a nice little side gig. I always talk about my business and how I have tendrils of my business. I have all sorts of different types of projects that I'm working on, and a few of them are passive income projects. And I don't want anybody to think that passive income is like you're really not doing any work. I mean, there's a lot of work you're doing. There's a ton of work you're doing, like in the foreground, and then maybe maintaining. You don't have to do as much work, and that's what we're talking about when we can go to sleep and wake up with all sorts of lovely PayPal and Stripe messages, at least for me, about how much money we just made.
Well, it started off as very much being a product for voiceover, and now it's expanded.
I have my chiropractor's office.
Other industries that are related have seen value and benefit in it, and so that gave you more income streams.
And I just go and replenish, and I go visit my chiropractor. You need more bottles? I just go and refill every time I visit and get paid. So I'm starting to develop some great customers that are outside of the voiceover industry as well, which is really cool. And Gabby, you have a really cool new venture that you're working on as well.
I've always had creative brain and creative hands and that need to make, right, to do. I'm that weird fidgety person. I don't know how people just watch a movie.
First of all, I love staying at Gabby's, but every time we sit down at the end of a day, after we've worked our tushes off all day, she sits down and I'm like, oh, okay, so we'll watch the latest episode of blah, blah, or watch a movie. Gabby is still moving. She's still working. Like her hands don't stop.
No.
Like just crafting and fidgeting. And yeah, you don't stop at all. I
think it's why I was a smoker when I was younger.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like my hands need something
They
to
need
do.
something to do. Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, because it does seem kind of cliche, but I make jewelry. And I found a little niche. I found a little sliver in the jewelry market that is unique, that's a little different, that has an antique component. And so I started making these rings, and that has turned into, other forms. There's necklaces and earrings and all kinds of other
and they're
stuff.
the coolest rings and necklaces and jewelry. I just have to say, Anne Ganguza benefits from
I
her
know.
Bosty
No,
bestie.
The last time you were at my house, you were bling from head to toe. It was so funny.
I like this one and this one and this one. And you're like, are you going to take them all? And I'm like, yeah, well, let me decide. And then I ended up taking them all.
Yeah, it's fine. It happens.
It's like... Gabby, what I don't want people to think is that there's a stigma. I think some people feel like they're a failure if they can't make 24/7 their voiceover business. And I think people somehow feel like it's less than, you can't really say I'm a voiceover artist or that's what I do if they are, if they have some sort of thing going on the side. I feel like they don't feel complete. And I think that's such a wrong... wrong way to look at things.
I used to do that in my early days in VO. I think, suffered from that. Mm-hmm. This is what I've learned. No matter what it is that I'm doing, no matter how much I love it, no matter how passionate I am, there will come a point in time where I will get bored. And I will become slightly complacent. So if I don't find something else to spark my creativity and passion to get myself re-engaged, then my core will suffer. My primary business will suffer.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't ever become bored with voiceover if I have other creative little outlets going on at the same time.
The worst thing that can happen to me is that I become stagnant. I become complacent and I become bored. And I've long said, and everybody that knows me knows how much I love Jerry. I'm surprised that I'm married because I always have to do something. I cannot be bored. And Jerry just keeps me on my toes all the time. But that's my nature as well. And I think with all of us in this industry, we are creatives. And there's absolutely nothing wrong. There are veterans out there that organizing closets. And what's cool about it is that they love it. And so every little piece of what we do, because we are entrepreneurs, is something that we love. And that's what I think is so wonderful about it. And I do a bunch of things, and some people might say that I'm too spread out. But I tell you what, every single thing that I do, I love, and I make sure it contributes to my income.
Well, and that's the key. Here's what happens for a lot of people from the brain piece, the psychological piece. We know that we're idea people. We know that we can come up with, these brilliant concepts and ideas or products or services or whatever it is. But there's a gap for most people between the idea and the actual execution. And then it's, how do I convert it to money? How do I take the investment, whatever I've done, and actually make it successful in that sense? So I think that, when people say, oh, you're too spread out, or oh, you're too busy, that's really the question at the end. Am I? As long as this arm or this tendril of my business is making money or is on the path to making money, then no, I don't see it that way.
VO Boss was such a thing for me, right? I had done, so VO Peeps was an extension of, a passive income generating idea, which started out of my passion, developed into a side of passive income. And VO Boss, the very same thing. I was at a point where I was like, you know what? I need something new. I've always wanted to do this. And it's one of my favorite things to do is VO Boss. It really is. And it's it's like my new love. And we have products. Which is so
and
cool.
Now what's starting to develop is the two of us, because we've combined forces the way we have. We have new things on the horizon.
We do.
Oh, God, guys, we are scheming and planning and blueprinting, and you've no idea. And we'll tell you soon. We'll share when we're ready.
Things. Yeah.
But we're
wait, I feel like I just posted that on Facebook and I said, I can't tell you now.
Can't tell you, but it's
But
coming.
good things are coming, like really awesome things.
But you see how like excited we are, how much it fuels that. Sometimes people talk about this in relation to money, the very, very wealthy. What's next? People get kind of weird when there's nothing to look forward to. There's nothing to work toward. There's nothing to plan, right? Like the people who can go, I've traveled the globe. I've already been everywhere. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing new for you.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, kind of. You've lost
it.
that spark. This is what you and I perpetuate in one another.
Be sparkly together. We're sparkly together, you and I.
But it's not just you and I. Other people in our lives help us do the same.
Oh, very true.
So here's another piece to the passive income that I think is critical for me. Passive income, in my case, whether it be jewelry or gems and minerals or, you know, different types of artwork, my friend's photography, whatever. If it weren't for that, guys, I would never see people. I wouldn't. I need those other things to create the social outlet that otherwise I would only get through voiceover once or twice a year when we're all at a conference together.
I just keep thinking of things, Gabby. Cats. Like my studio cats. I have a store to sell to sell merchandise for my studio cats. I mean, it was born out of something that I loved. And I think every one of you out there has something that they love in addition to voiceover, right? Just like you love different genres in voiceover, there are different things that you love out there that can spark that creativity and can spark that joy. And I think you really need to start thinking about how might you turn that into something that, you know, could be profitable for you.
Yes.
Because as entrepreneurs, we've got to be the ones looking out for ourselves, facing forward in the future. I want to be able to enjoy a retirement where I'm not going to have to worry about money and where it's coming next. I am already like well into providing for myself and my family. So, and I know you are too, Gabby.
My life revolves around two questions now. This was all just from the introduction into my brain, the thought process of how can I make passive income? How can I do that, right? Because once you ask it, it's there, guys. You can't unask it. It's going to stick with you.
That's right.
Everywhere, everything, every new experience, I have two questions. Question number one is, can I make money off that?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Question number two is even funnier. Can I expense that? My gem and mineral side hustle, whatever you want to call it. It started off as just a hobby. That's all it was. And it got to a place where in the buying and the acquisition, I was like, oh, this sucks. I can't expense any of it. Like, this is a lot of money that I can't offset. But I could the minute I sold something.
Oh, exactly. Scrapbooking, Gabby. Anne Gangusa has a Michaels store in her, alongside her studio. She has a Michaels store, and
so true.
The funny thing is that for years people said you should, do that for a living, and I'm like, God, nobody could pay me enough. And it wasn't because I felt I was that good. It was because I couldn't do the same thing twice. I was like, I cannot reproduce things like this. They are one-time creations of art. I've always still had that idea in the back of my head, feeling like there could be a way that I could do that if I so chose to. Right now, it's on hold. I still have the Michaels store, and I am formulating that in the back of my brain. How can I make money? I love that. How can I make money from this? Hell, Gabby, I look at my husband and I'm like, how can I make money?
I know you try to pimp out your husband, and it's really
do.
funny.
Do you know how many times we're going to have a cooking show? It will go viral. I'm just saying.
What? Don't you want to do a YouTube channel? Like, you're so good at explaining stuff to people. Like, you're so great at that.
Yep.
I totally
Absolutely.
get it. I totally get it. So, guys, you already have this. You're here. You are an entrepreneur. This spark is already there. I can tell you that the part 2 of this conversation somewhere down the line, probably in another episode, becomes how do I juggle it all? How do I manage it?
Yeah.
That is a separate challenge. But initially, you have to find those things and start playing with those ideas that can ultimately lead to passive profit. Yep. I got to go back to my blueprint, Anne. I got like 12 more ideas.
I know, right? And hey, guys, we want to hear from you. Like, what kind of cool things you got like brewing in your mind?
Oh, so if you already have a passive income stream going and it's something outside of voiceover, share it with us. We'll make like a little post directory and share everybody's stuff.
That'd be
That would be great.
Or we'll feature you on the podcast. That'd be great. I am going to thank our sponsor that, again, allows us to spark our creativity every single day, practically. And that is IPDTL. You too can record and connect and spark like a boss and find out more at ipdtl.com.
And of course, VivaLaVoiceovers.com. The revolution, as I keep saying, guys, is underway. Effective, fair, transparent. Go to their website. Check it out.
And watch those videos. Matt's putting out some really great videos explaining the process. So if you ever had a question, just watch one of his videos. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.
Join us next week for another edition of VO Boss with your hosts, Ann Ganguza and Gabby Nistico. All rights reserved. Ann Ganguza voice talent in association with 3 Moon Media. Redistribution with permission. Coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.
Oh my God, we could have talked about that for hours.
I know, right?